Friday Night Lights High School Basketball Saturday on Sports Radio. WGAM The Game. Pete Terrier, Chris Sugar, your host every Saturday morning between 8 and 10 a.m. right here on the radio station. Sean Sendal, our producer, wrapping up week one of Friday Night Lights. Tremendous night of action. Why don't we run down the scoreboard one final time, Chris?
Sure. It started Trinity and Londonderry. The Pioneers come away with the 40-38 victory, a low-scoring, hard-fought game we just heard a little bit about from head coach Dave Keefe. That was one of the four games that we had covered last night on week one of Friday Night Lights. Pinkerton upends Memorial 77-72. Manchester Central takes down Bishop Girton 57-55, and it was Salem 67, Dover 57. Other games across the state in boys Class L, Winnicott and Concord. It was the Warriors 56, Crimson Tide 46. Exeter over Alvern 54-48. Timberlane takes down Merrimack 59-53. Manchester West over Keene 68-51. Nashua South and Goffstown, the Purple Panthers, the victory 59-46. And Nashua North over Spalding 65-55. And a couple of Class I boys games to note. Milford over Oyster River 69-55. And Coe-Brown defeats Hollis Brookline 54-44.
I think, to me, not a lot of surprises. I mean, there were some tremendous games, especially that Trinity-Londonderry game. That was a surprise for a while to me, where Londonderry was in control, up by 10 at the half, holding Trinity to only 15 points at the break. Jordan Laguerre, though, did what he does, went off, scored 20, hit 18 in the second half, 14 of them in the fourth quarter, and had the two game-winning free throws with 4 seconds left as Trinity survives and stays unbeaten. Good job by the Lancers to hang tough and kind of take the air out of the basketball and not let themselves get into a running game with the Pioneers. I thought Bishop Girton showed something last night, going
Absolutely.
up to Central and giving them all they could handle. Will Bayless hits a driving layup with just under 10 seconds left. Finished with 16 points in the game. That was the difference. Manchester Central over BG 57-55. That Pinkerton Memorial game was very entertaining, back and forth, high scoring to be sure. I mean, not too often when both teams get into the 70s in high school basketball, but it happened last night in Memorial. Pinkerton stays unbeaten. Salem, who lost to Pinkerton earlier this week and had their 33-game Class L winning streak snapped, they get back on the winning side of things, and they handle Dover on the road 67-57.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, there was a lot of games. In fact, all of these games, the biggest difference in Class L boys was Manchester West over Keene. That was only 17. Only 4 of the 10 games last night were decided by 10 points or more. A lot of close games, some high scoring, some low scoring. And the rumors, I guess, was that Class L boys was wide open. There were a ton of teams that could get to the Final 8, to the Final 4. They have done nothing but prove that so far through the first 2, 3, 4 games for these teams.
I'm going to give you a chance to go first on peak performers. Of all the games that we had covered last night, who gets your peak performer award?
Well, of all the games that we had covered last night, I have to. I'm going to have to go with Jordan Laguerre. Absolutely, 20 points, 20 of the 40. He was really the only one who did it offensively. Richard Maydell, yes, had 9. But he stepping up there on the road, clutch free throws in a tie game to give them the victory. And I also want to go give.
I'm not letting you have 2. You get 1. Peak performer.
Okay.
I'm going to get 1.
Okay.
And then I'll let you come out and say, my honorable mention.
Oh, okay. Honorable mention. I like that.
And you can't steal mine. Bo Cassidy from Pinkerton, 30 points, 6 3-pointers in the game. This is really a peak performer week for him because he hit the big 3 against Salem with 3.5 seconds left to snap a 60-all tie and help Pinkerton beat Salem on the road. Bo Cassidy, my peak performer from last night.
All right, Mr. Rulemaker, am I allowed to go off the board a little bit? With somebody that we haven't really mentioned? I want to give some love to Trevor Rancourt from Nashua North. 21 points and a 10-point victory over Spalding. Kyle Pederzani goes down, I believe, early in the second quarter. He's really their stud. Rancourt steps up and leads the team 21 points and a 10-point victory, getting their first win of the year. I'm
going off the board, too, for my honorable mention peak performer. I like how we make up these rules as we go along.
It's week one.
Class I boys, Milford, the Spartans, Jasmine Handanovic, Tremendous
Absolutely.
player, 22 points. Got some help from sophomore point guard Mike Mitchell with 18, but I'm going Handanovic, one of the best players that you may not know a whole lot about if you primarily focus on Class L. Go out to Milford sometime and check out Handanovic play. The kid can play.
Yeah, I mean, Class I, Milford, Oyster River. We talked about Cole Brown a little bit. Portsmouth is getting a lot of publicity this year as being a great team the Class I could be just as wide open as well, just as Class L could be.
Let's look ahead a little bit at the week to
Great
come.
week.
Pinkerton, Winnicott stands out for me. I know Manchester Memorial also playing against Salem on Tuesday. Just two of the highlight games.
Crossover
that
games
I'm
from
looking
some games
forward.
earlier in the season already, right there.
What do you mean?
Crossover games. They've already played each other. Now they're kind of mixing and matching.
Okay. Not quite sure where you're
Pinkerton
going.
and Memorial and Salem.
Okay. So we've seen this team play that team already. Now we're going to see how this team fares against that team. Gotcha.
Right.
Gotcha. Well, week 1 Friday Night Lights is in the book. Want to thank all the coaches that joined us this morning. E.J. Perry from Salem, Doc Wheeler from Central, Nate Mazerol, Nashua South, Pete Rosinski from Pinkerton, and Dave Keith from Trinity. We'll be back at it next Friday night on the radio and online, WGAMradio.com. You can also check out the great Friday Night Lights website, FNLNH.com. Live scores, updates as they happen, some stats thrown in there. Also, the live coverage on the radio after Manchester Monarchs hockey next Friday night and every Friday night throughout the basketball season. And then each and every Saturday morning between 8 and 10 a.m. right here, Friday Night Lights High School Basketball Saturday. For my co-host Chris Schuker, I'm Pete Terrier. Thanks to our producer, Sean Sendall. Celtic Pride Radio coming up on the other side of 10.
A presentation of Absolute Broadcasting, LLC.
Copyright 2009.